Okay, I came to the realization recently that I haven't been working on as much original artwork lately. And since I've been working so much on doing the videos for Infinite Uppercut, working on my new comic and doing all sorts of comic book related stuff both in on the YouTube channel and in real life, I figured I needed a break. So I whipped out this old picture of Gas Mask Girl that I never actually finished. I decided to redo it. And the fact that I originally drew it in Photoshop, considering that most of the stuff that I did in Photoshop at this point, I'm not really a fan of how it looks. I'm redoing it in Clip Studio, and the quality and line art obviously already looks better. That's also why they tell you not to do your artwork in raster and do it in vector, but that's an entirely different conversation. I'm just hard headed. And up until recently, the only program I had for years was Photoshop, but that's also another conversation. But yeah, I'm not even sure just how long I've had the idea to actually clean this picture up, but it's been quite a while. And I also can't remember where I got the original idea from. But yeah, all I can remember is I had this design years ago where somebody I think wanted I think it was I think they wanted a woman with wings and a gas mask on for whatever reason. And then like tattoos was optional. I don't know what they were going for, but it's what they wanted. So I somehow came up with this and one other design, and they liked this one more. And I remember trying to communicate with them about specifics for the designs and whatnot, and they never contacted me back. So fast forward all these years later, and I'm redoing the design. I have a few other ones that I'd like to work on as well, but we'll get to those at another date. And it's also so strange. As much as I work in Clip Studio now, I solely use it for graphic design and comics at this point. I rarely do paintings in Clip Studio, and that's only because recently I have been doing many paintings, so this was actually kind of refreshing for me and a lot less stressful, to be quite honest with you. Other than trying to figure out like what colors I wanted to make her hair and stuff in the picture, but you'll actually see that once you come across it. Just a lot of back and forth with uh, ideas of how I was going to color this picture because I didn't think about that going in. It just sort of went off the cuff, which usually creates a lot of frustration and indecision in me when I'm making artwork, but that didn't happen this time for once. At least not as bad. But that frustration is usually a main reason why I like to have a good game plan as to everything I'm gonna do before I start working on the material. Which I know I wanted to really redo those wings as well. Just once again drawing them in Photoshop, the lines are so awful. So making sure I can get those cleaner, working on them in Clip Studio was almost a must. The actual tattoos that I drew on her, I don't even know what the rhyme or reason was. I know for whatever reason there was supposed to be leaves and fruit in the design of the picture. I don't know why I chose to have those as tattoos, and the rest of them that I stuck up there are sort of random to me. So yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking at the time, but whatever, just roll with it, I guess. And then there were so many just random leaves on the picture too. I was having to think of how I was going to color each piece. And because I had a rose on her that was green and red, of course, it's like, okay, I'm just going to stick with that just to have some type of base colors somewhere on her skin or on this design since I already rolled with it. Like, for goodness sake, I think I drew some grapes on her. Like, I have no idea why. And because this was an original piece of artwork as well, I also wanted to keep this kind of simple. I know I really do have a habit sometimes of wanting to go really in depth and going crazy when coloring certain pictures and certain pieces of artwork. With environments, I kind of like to do that now just because I want as much detail as humanly possible. But when doing little illustrations like this or portraits or anything, I kind of like keeping it simple. I don't know, for me, simple works best. Like, people always talk about the KISS theory. That definitely works for my artwork. Just simple lines, highlights, and shading goes a long way. At least for me anyways. After a while trying to add so much little details to the artwork starts to make it look cluttered when it's unnecessary. At times it's not a steady and fast rule. There are moments where you do need a lot of details in your artwork, but like I said, for simple illustrations and stuff like this, I don't need to start going crazy. I'm gonna actually take away from the picture after a while. especially when I do it on the fly. As I stated before, me and on the fly really doesn't work that well all the time. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. I'm one of those people that has to have things planned out in their minds before they start jumping in head first into something, which I guess that's not jumping in head first. You know what I mean. Organized chaos, I guess, is the phrase that people use to sort of describe that blend between having things sort of random but still having a structure to the randomness. And I have to have some type of structure in place. As you can see at certain points in this video of me doing this picture, I didn't know how I wanted to balance the hair and the background and what colors to use. I was originally thinking red hair, but that just seemed too uniform for the skin color at first. I ended up rolling with it anyways, just because that bounced off the blue. I don't know, it looked right to me. And then going back and doing like little separate sort of adding of light shading after doing like specular highlights in certain places on the picture. Just did a little bit of that to clean it up, and remember to do it on parts of the tattoos too, because it's still her skin after all. And that was pretty much that. A simple piece of artwork for me to put on my portfolio, because I need something original to stick up there. I don't have, or in my mind, I don't have enough. I know a few pictures that do very well, but I just want more, and I want some more recent stuff. So from time to time, like I said earlier, to avoid being burnt out, I think I'm gonna just start working on something completely not related to my comic books or anything, and just make some original artwork when I don't want to be doing any type of writing or comic book work, or now editing videos for other comic books or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, a nice change of pace from what I'm always doing. So it's nice. And I don't get frustrated with what I'm actually working on a regular basis. So I guess ways to keep me sharp to also allow me a breather from everything else. But yeah, that was pretty much Gas Mask Girl. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the video. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.